Good evening, everybody. And how are you doing? It is Wednesday evening here in Toronto, and it is time for the Victory Speak show. And I'm going to start you off with a little bit of Caribbean jazz, compliments of Calabash. Aren't they groovy? Aren't they beautiful? This song is called From Whence We Came. Be sure to go check out the album. You can get it on anywhere you can buy albums, Spotify, YouTube. It's a great Christmas gift. So, folks, welcome, welcome, welcome. And it is time, over here in Toronto, it's a little chilly tonight. So, get that warm throw, get a warm drink, light a candle, get something ooh, so sweet to eat. Yes. And sharing is caring. So please share with your friends. Yes, yes, yes. And so, welcome to the Victory Speaks Inspire Conversation series. And I'm your host, Nicole Waldron, your voice of victory and your mental fitness coach. And I'm on a mission, my friends, to inspire you to live a life of victory, a victorious lifestyle. And I want to amplify the stories of my friends, those I meet now and those that I meet along the way. And I'm curating these conversations with them so that you can learn about our unsung heroes, our thought leaders, people doing amazing things in the world, because we all have to share our victories and we all have a story to tell. And I know, just like you and me, we have great conversations, some bad, some funny, you name it, we have it. But you know what? We can be inspired by every conversation that we have. So tonight, I want to introduce you to a man that I met, oh my God, maybe a couple years ago, 3, 4 years ago. And he's become like a brother. And he is the founder of Adam's Place, a traditional program for homeless men, and the CEO of the Ready to Work program, job placement company. He's also, listen, he's a busy man. He's also a recording artist. He's a playwright. He's a vocal trainer, a health and wellness coach, and a professional trainer for the Children's Home Society in North Carolina. He's also the minister and magna cum laude graduate of North Carolina A&T State in music. So we're going to have a great conversation tonight. So I want you to give him a warm Victory Speaks welcome with a round of applause. I'm going to bring up my brother here, Walter Johnson, to the Victory Speaks stage. Welcome, welcome, welcome,
Hello. Hello.
Walter! Encounter. We're having an encounter, my brother.
Yes, we are.
It's been so long since we could actually be together. I can't wait till the day we get you back to Toronto, but it's at least virtually we can connect. Don't you love the virtual space?
We do. We do.
So, how has it been for you?
Oh my goodness. It has been wonderful. Things have just, God is just richly blessed. He's been faithful, even in the midst of a pandemic. Since you and I were together some years ago with a production I did, obviously, I told my own story with the play Encounter. And I'm so excited. I've actually presented it several times in the Greensboro, North Carolina area several times for a number of years. What I'm really excited about is that in 2022, on February the 12th, my 53rd birthday week, I'm going to present this at the longest running dinner theater in North Carolina since I think 1964 or 1968.
Wow.
It's the Barn Dinner Theater. I'm going to present it for one night only, but for the first time ever, we're going to also present it virtually. And I'm so excited.
I'm
So
so
that means,
excited.
yes,
I
you
get to see
guys can
you.
see
I
it.
get to see you. I get to see you. I'm so excited. Listen, folks, if you're live, you're on the replay, tell us where you're from, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Drop it in the chat. And if you have a question for Walter, drop it in tonight. So, how has the pandemic, like, how have you been making it out? Because, Walter, you're doing so many things. Like, when I look at what you do, how has it been for you and your family in this pandemic?
Well, it's it had its ups and downs, but if I had to to culminate it all together, I'd say the pandemic was a blessing for
Hmm.
us. And I know that the word tells us, for we know that all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord and are thee are called. I know we've had some losses in the family. I know it's been a constraint, but for me, what it did, and for us, it allowed us, it pulled us in. We were spending more time together. It made us very grateful for the time that we had with each other. And it also made me think outside of the box, think outside of the box in being creative. It put me
Hmm.
home. I'm working from home now. My cleaning company, I had to do more sanitation, so I picked
Right.
up more business there. It just really allowed me to think outside the box, but it also gave me another opportunity to just kind of connect with people in a different way. Everything, like you said, was virtual. I started doing vocal lessons online, and I even did a virtual tour with Encounter. A lot of folks didn't get to see it, but we had a few folks that
Wow.
last year around this time we did about 7 show dates where folks could select through Eventbrite and then have a time to come and talk with me and also see the show. And then we talked about mental health, wellness after the show. So just it gave me a greater sense of just being grateful and a tremendous amount of gratitude for life. And just showing me how important life really is. More of a focus, on family and also on resources, and just very, very grateful. That's not to say that it hasn't been challenging, but I'm going to say to anyone, even if you had COVID and you survived or you've lost someone, there's something about whenever we go through a trial or whenever we go through a struggle, when we go through with God, it's just another level of
Mm.
comfort, and it's another level of experience. And it really is an encounter. It really is an opportunity to kind of get close and dig in, even in those uncomfortable places.
And you see, this is one of the things I love about you. You find the opportunity in the crisis, that you're smiling, and you know what? This is not a fake thing. This is the real thing. I can hear the joy that's coming through. It's not just even happiness. It's just pure joy coming from you, Walter. I really love it. And that you can take, the messy things in life and make it and turn it into a message and sharing it. And you said you're doing vocal training. I didn't realize that. Now you know what, I'm going to have to hook you up with my son, because he asked me the other day for some vocal lessons. So I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Love More is already chiming in. I'm loving this conversation. Thank you, Love More.
Yeah, love more. Tell her to ping some other folks in. Reach out to them, share it.
Listen, Love More has been sharing this. So she shared it on Instagram this morning. She's been sharing
Really?
the fly. She is my champion. This is my sister friend. This is
Oh,
my this is my Peloton. This is my iron sharpener. She keeps me on the money. And
yes.
and so is there a particular quote or motto that guides you, Walter?
There are lots of things that got me just through the word. I've mentioned, for we know all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord and are they are called. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. There's so many words that come to my mind when I'm thinking about, when I think of God's goodness and all that He's done for me. My soul cries out hallelujah. I literally thank God for salvation. There are just lots of things, and it just depends on what the moment is. And God may give me a word, or may give me a
Right,
song, or may give me a melody of something
right.
that can just really lift your spirits or lift my spirit and help me encourage someone else.
I love that. And you know what? I can tell you really believe what you're saying. And look, you're getting a shout out here. Walter Johnson. I can tell this person knows you. They put the Johnson, all the ends up in there. All
Yes,
the ends up in there.
Pierre. Yeah, yeah. That's
Here,
one
you
of
got
my
to share.
brothers.
So you got to tell people that Walter is on here and share, share, share. So Walter, one of the things I remember us talking about when you were here was mental health. We talked about men and homelessness, and you deal with a transitional program for homeless men. Can you tell us about this work that you're doing?
Oh my goodness, this has been ongoing for years and years and years. In fact, the transitional program was a program that I came up with. I wrote past this house and God said, get it. My mom didn't understand. My dad didn't understand. My wife
Mm,
didn't understand. And I had never never purchased a property before. It initially started out with me getting the property and basically using the house as an opportunity to help those who were in transition, men who were coming out of jail, men who were
What?
released from rehab. But the interesting part about it, I was never a nonprofit. The Lord allowed me to come up with a cleaning company or a job placement company, Ready to Work, which was a way that we kind of funded the house. We would let the guys come in, and in turn, I could give them jobs. They would wear khaki pants and a black shirt, and it's been over 11 years now.
That is amazing. So tell us about the lives that you've seen train, because you're talking people that are coming from different circumstances where most people wouldn't employ them or make them employable. Like what even, you said God placed it on your heart, but what even continued with that placement, with that vision? Because sometimes we get a vision and we don't follow through. What made you just go through with this vision, Walter?
Well, to be honest, it was part of my work that I was doing with Children's Home Society. At the time, we actually merged, so it was actually Family Life Council at the time. But I was working I was a fatherhood educator for years, where I taught parenting classes. So I was constantly just working with men, and I was constantly an environment that kept it on my mind. You know how we say
Mm.
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
It was never out of sight. It was always in sight because it was a part of what I did with my regular job. It was a part of what I did with church. So when I thought about it, it was almost like I was listening to a lot of the needs. And it was almost as though it was definitely my charge to say, okay, let's be a part of the solution. And part of that was creating this program, or having this program that could help men start their way, or get a fresh start again, or have some motivation. I even wrote my own curricula called Introspect, which is a personal character development curricula. It isn't published yet, but it is copywritten. But that'll be something
Good.
else that will come in the future. It's a personal character development curricula that talk about everything from mentoring to looking at the different seasons of it. There's a workbook that comes with it. All of this over the years, just it's kind of just accumulated, and God just said, okay, put it out, put it out, put it out.
Well, as raising a son, I've said to you before, I feel very pulled to men and what they're doing and grooming men and making sure that they're there. So this work that you're doing here is so, oh, it takes my breath away that you would do something with fatherhood. And what does fatherhood mean to you? Like, because you're grooming men, you're taking them from different circumstances where they've probably been through a lot of trauma. What does fatherhood mean to you, and how are you getting them to embrace even fatherhood and their mental health and wellness?
Wow. Well, fatherhood means to me a number of things. Definitely means a protector. It definitely means a nurturer. It means a provider, strength and vulnerability.
Mhm.
It means consistency. There's a lot of things. I'm honored to be a dad, and I, kudos to my father who just turned 73. Uh,
Happy birthday,
Yep, his
Dad.
birthday was yesterday, and so we celebrated with him, and he's just always been my best man, and we've always had a great relationship. And really, that's the foundation of what I do, even with my children and with my family and with friends and with other men. How do I get them to embrace? Well, one of the things, it's biblical principle. When you look at the fact that Jesus took 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, and he
Mm,
fed the multitude. So many times, especially with men, when they know not only that we're listening, but we can, if someone comes to you and they have a challenge or they have a problem, it's one thing to say, I'll pray for you. It's another thing to say, let me see if I can be of help. Let me
help to
point
you.
you in direction. And help doesn't always mean giving money. Sometimes
Right.
help can literally mean, let me talk to you and have you create in your own discussion and discovery, you come up with some of those things that work best for you. I found that people oftentimes really go after what they want when they have ownership in it. It's for some people, it's not enough just to give them the handout, because when you do, you're going to keep doing it. But when
Right.
you engage them in conversation and have them retrospectively kind of examine where they've been, and now look at where they are, there's a synergistic approach that happens that charges them when you actually let them begin to see. You realize you can create your own business, even if you have a criminal record. Do you realize you
Mm.
can do this? Do you realize you can do that? Yes, you can. And I wanted to say to you, I'm getting some folks are kind of texting me as well saying they're trying to watch. So I'm trying to talk to you in the audience, but also pull those in who are trying to come up. I don't know if they're able to get the link. So I'm directing folks to my
So
Facebook
go
page.
tell them to go to Victory Speaks 7 on YouTube or Victory Speaks 77 on Facebook. You can tune in and watch the show, folks. And if you are friends of the great Walter Johnson, the man behind the music, the advocate, the artist, the entrepreneur, tell them to come to Victory Speaks 7 on YouTube. It's easy for them. I guess everybody can come on to YouTube because, not everybody has Facebook. Uh,
Right.
so I
Okay.
always say you can always tune in right there. And so,
Okay.
Walter, when I think about the men and what you're doing, and you said it's not just about words, it's about action. How can we, as a community, come alongside you and alongside the men in our lives to support them, especially when they've been through, challenging circumstances? Because we come from a very judgmental society, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what can we do?
Well, one of the things that I say, we have to just tell them the truth. But we have to be supportive and meet them right where they are.
Mm,
Oftentimes, I feel like we kind of want to fix people up and make them presentable before we present them.
come on
But
now.
ew, mm, if we can accept people exactly where they are and begin to help them believe again, help them trust again, that's a huge part of it. And meeting them right where they are means, hey, I've been there too, or I understand. And that's not to minimize, because I know sometimes
Yes.
people step back when you say, oh, I understand. What I mean by that, that's not to say I'm totally linked into where you are, but everyone knows what struggle is. Some type of struggle, even if it's not the same. Everyone wants to be validated. Everyone know what it's like or wants to be trusted. So when you don't have those things, we can all relate to disappointment. We can all relate to setback. But our setbacks are oftentimes a setup for us to move into those greater places that our eyes haven't seen yet, that our ears haven't heard yet, that have yet to even enter
Tell the
into
truth.
our hearts and our thoughts. That's the exciting part about the journey. I have to tell you, there's a line in my play that happens, and it says simply, hey, life is a journey, and what you have to do is look at the scenery, the bumps, the hills, the turns. Just enjoy the scenery along the way, and that's really what it's like. Oftentimes, we want to fix our eyes on the pleasant things, but even in the not so the unpleasant things, there's some. Think about pandemic right now. Those that are watching, I want you to think about, and you can put it in the chat box right now if you want to. Name one positive thing that have come out of COVID for you, and I
Come
guarantee
on
you,
now. Let's see it. Let's
if
see
you
it, people.
ah, if you can think of one, you can think of two.
Name one positive thing that came out of you for the pandemic. And you know what I love about this Walter?
Yes,
You don't just, as I'm going to say it again, a lot of people talk the talk, but they don't walk the talk. You know what I'm saying? And you're walking the talk. And someone said here, new business came out for them in
come
the
on, Mike.
pandemic.
Yeah. Oh, he is that brother is he is on fire. We got to get him on here. He is on fire.
All
You're
right,
right,
Mike.
Mike.
Oh Lord, here comes marriage, family spending more time together.
Yep.
Yes. Because you know what? This is so big. The family spending more time together because
Mm-hmm.
so many families were disconnected and not coming together. And we were busy being busy. And oh, I'm loving it here. You're getting the love here. Teach, Walter, teach. Paula said she was spending less money. I'm loving this.
That's my mom. That's right.
Hi, Mom. It's so good to meet you, Mom. And okay, Serena is in Washington. You got to connect with Serena.
Hey,
Serena says,
Serena.
Serena says, "Happy birthday to your dad." And
Thanks,
Lori's like,
Serena.
"I'm on, cousin.
Yeah,
Come
cousin
on,
is here.
cousin. Come on now. You got your family here tonight.
I'm so
See,
glad they're on.
support. Oh, we got psychotherapist Andrea Bowe. She just released a book, Walter.
Oh,
Her book is
wonderful.
called The Heart of a Good Thing. You need to get that book. It's about healing.
Okay.
Listen, the men in your group need to hear from her. You
I'm
need to
writing
do
it
a
down.
webinar with her. She's spoken to men in prisons and she's been able to just get them to understand the healing of their hearts, you know. And this is what I like about community. When we come on here, it's about community, it's about having a conversation, it's about how we can help each other live this victorious life. And this is one of the reasons I love you. You just want to see people win for the best, and you're always giving, giving, giving. And um and and you and you do so much. And so we're going to make sure and put up your website. If you want to contact Walter, you can contact him there. So now, so Walter, you're dealing with homeless men and mental health. So before I go into the music piece, um Paula says, call me. Do you want him to call you now? He can't call you now, he can call you later.
I'll call you, Ma.
Mom, he's gonna call you later. And Benita says she was able to spend more time with her mom, and that's so
That's right,
special.
Bonita.
So special. So when we talk about men and their mental health and wellness, why is it that's so important that we have that conversation?
Well, it's so important that we have that conversation. And I'm telling you, my play tells it all. My mom, my dad, those that know me closely, they can tell you what you see now wasn't always what it was. I had a situation where I just went through. I was having health problems.
Mm,
I was feeling depressed. Lots of stuff just going on. So mental health, it's not uncommon. And especially for me, we can get into this, I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
mhm.
I got it. And particularly for men, because we're told, suck it up. We're told, man up.
Come on now.
We're told so much that oftentimes we're working or we're doing this and we're not taking care of ourselves. And it's so easy to do yourself. A lot of times, a man will find his validation more so in his family and his children than even in himself.
Mm-mm.
And for so many men, when that's taken away, if we look at the divorce rate, if we look at just the children that are reared in father absent homes and still don't have connection with their children, many want to, but sometimes the mom and the mom's family will become the gatekeepers, and sometimes those dads lose that. And so it's so easy to wrap yourself up into trying to play this role of this guise that you fail to realize that I've got to take care of myself. I lost myself. And think about this. That message is perpetuated with this culture. We're all on the rat wheel. I don't know how
Mhm,
it is in Canada, but in the
mhm,
United States,
mhm.
it's get on the wheel, get on the wheel, you
Yeah,
gotta
yes,
do this, you
same thing
gotta do
here.
that, you gotta
Yes.
do that, you gotta do that. But when you take a moment and step back, it's like, what did I do? The time
Mhm.
passes away and you miss so many opportunities. I can't say that I pinned this, but there was a powerful statement that was, I think I found it off Facebook that has so many positive things. And one of the statements was, self-care is creating a life that you don't have to escape from.
Ooh, that's good. Self-care is creating a life that you don't have to escape from. That is so good. That is so good. Benita is saying here, sucking it up is the cause of high blood pressure, headaches, heart disease. It is. Benita, you are on the money. And for our men, it's a really big message. And I want you as a man, as a brother, as a husband, as a father, as a brother, as a mentor. What's your word to women, um, to them, to support men? Because I think a lot of the times women, we emasculate men, or we may not really see them. We see all these other things, but we really do not treat them with the love and care that they need. What would you say to women today to care for the men around us?
Yeah, make it a partnership.
Hmm.
I think so often women have such good intentions, but I think oftentimes it doesn't become a partnership. I think oftentimes women uh, almost try to do it. That's the nurturing part. It's not uncommon for a woman to see a man down and out and believe in him, and instead of, again, showing him how to fish or directing him to someone else to show him, they'll fish and cook it, and then,
Yeah,
and then of
yeah.
course, just make it. And let me preface this: I'm not saying partner with a man who's abusive.
Come on now.
I'm not
Tell
saying
the truth.
partner with a man who's not supporting. But if it's someone that you see has the potential, and you guys are in a relationship, or and that doesn't necessarily mean an intimate, you could be a friendship or partner. What I found, people really step up to the plate when they have buy-in, and they have buy-in when they're part of the process. I think
Right.
oftentimes women can get frustrated with some men because they may not think the same way. So
Right.
understanding his personality profile, if he's expressive and she's analytical, understanding that different doesn't always mean negative. Different is exactly what it is. And a lot of
Right.
times in partnerships, we become frustrated when things don't happen very fast. But sometimes you get the best work with partnership because you take that time and you get a bit of here and you get a bit. Sometimes when we rush things, we miss detail, we miss some things. And that even means, woman, when you're lady, when you're ready for him to get to a certain place, sometimes that process takes time. And again, that is not being an enabler. Okay.
Come on
I'm
now.
I'm
Because we're
stressing
not
that
being not
you're
not
not. It
emotional
does not
abuse.
mean
We're
being
not
an
talking.
enabler.
Yes, yes,
It
yes.
does.
Yeah.
It does not. But it does mean allow him to do, even if it means you step back.
Oh, allow him to do, even if it means you have to step back. And ladies, we need to learn how to receive. We need to learn how to let our men shine. And it's not always about, there's women's live, but there's a part I always say to women, sometimes you need to still let your sons open the door for you and pull out a chair for you. Just being a gentleman, just being kind, just being kind. So now, Walter, now you're also on top of all that you're doing, a recording artist, a playwright, a vocal trainer, a health and wellness coach, you know, this musical side of you, because this is where I met you. I met you in the music realm, coming to do that show with George Finn here. And how did you get even introduced to music?
Oh my goodness, church. And I'm gonna tell you, Mom, I hope you're watching. My mother used to sing with the Will Green Gospel Choir. I never forget. She was really my first teacher. And Mama used to sing. She literally used to sing till she would get so happy. I think one time she got so happy she passed out.
Stop it now.
No, I'm serious. She
Oh, God.
she would give it her all, and just I was in the church and I sang in the choir. That was where I started. Then I moved and I went to school and got my degree, and then from there I went on the road and traveled with these plays. A Good Man Is Hard to Find. My grandmother prayed for me. Paint the White House Black. So many folks I met, and I toured for I think over 7 years. Oh, it was a lot. Straight out of college.
Barbara says she still do. She's still
Yay!
singing. She's
Yeah,
still
she
singing.
does. Yeah, you'll hear her on one of the songs, The
So let
Change.
let's share that song right now. Let's
Okay,
let's see if it.
okay.
So let's bear with me, folks, because we got to do a little technical thing. It's not a TV studio. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna share this song, but and make sure I pull up the right song before Walter like disowns me here today.
Yeah.
Um, and here we go. We
While
are
you're
going.
pulling it up, let me tell a little bit about it. My daughter Elena wrote this song, and here it comes. Go
You,
ahead,
you
and
ready? You ready?
I'll talk about it
Okay.
afterwards. Hey, Dad, you got a sec? Sure, baby girl. What's up? Well, it's just I got a lot on my mind, and I don't know how I can tell you, but I just might be able to tell you like this. I'm listening. There are changes to be made in the world we live in today. The world is not as innocent as we thought it was. Ooh, baby girl, when I was your age, I felt the same way. Now that I'm older, I see things are still the same. Too much hurt is going on. I know. Daddy, that's why I started singing this song. Why can't we all just get along? When we thought the world was falling down, we had to pick ourselves
I am like Walter. I am so loving this. I almost forgot we were in a show. I was like, okay, I gotta stop playing the song now because like I'm in that mode. I'm in that mode right there. So tell us about the song, Walter.
Oh yeah, and you cut it just before mom did her part. So
Oh no. Okay, I'm
yeah,
gonna have to bring that back later. Okay, we're gonna
yeah.
find out
So,
again.
but the song came as a result of my daughter asking questions. This was right about the time when we was kept seeing in the news and the media all of the black men and women being killed, and she was in school and she saw the difference. It was just so much going on, and so she had these questions and she kind of came up with the song, and then I jumped in and kind of um, helped her develop it a little bit. I added my little part, and then I said, "Hey, well, grandma's got a story." So you actually have generations. You have my daughter there, who's not quite a millennial. I think she's Gen Y. I think that she would be Gen Y. I'm Gen X. And then you've got my mom is a baby boomer. So all
Right.
of those things going on, it is amazing that you can have this opportunity to talk and have these conversations, and how God just allowed you to put it in a song. They can actually get that on iTunes and Amazon. They can download it. Yep.
So you guys go to Amazon, YouTube, go down there and you put in Change by Walter Johnson. Put in Change. And I'll get that link for you and I'll probably drop it in the chat so that you can go do it. And so Walter, um, tell us about some of the production. What are some of your most memorable memories you have of productions you've been in?
Oh my goodness. Well, if you're talking about the plays, or you talking about the song, or tell me which area of production.
Whichever floats your boat. So let's do with the plays. Let's start with the plays first.
Oh wow. Well, I'll start with the my very first play was A Good Man Is Hard to Find. And I toured,
Mm,
and that's where I met a lot of folks who are now big time. There's Palmer Williams, who did some work with Tyler Perry and the sitcom, and I met Victoria Holland, Desmond Pringle. We just met lots of folk,
right.
Dwayne Woods, even there. And what was interesting about that, for me, I came straight out of college, so I had an operatic background. So it was, I,
Really?
yeah, it was. So I had to develop this strategy of how to sing, because when you compare gospel theater to, it's like comparing boxing to golf.
Mm,
And so there was a lot of hard singing that I had to learn how to do correctly so I wouldn't damage my voice. There was some adaptation. I had to adapt. And then I was in Greensboro all my life. So to go straight from that out on the road and touring all over the world, and, seeing these different things. And, the road is, oh,
it's not easy.
it is not, from living out of the hotels to having to promote in the clubs to having to just so many different things. It's really what pushed me into ministry, though, because had I not, I just think being out on the road gave me an opportunity to see a larger perspective from just
Hmm.
my area, and it again gave me an opportunity to connect with folks. I met a lot of wonderful people. Tina Weathers, who we just lost. Some of those folks, they know her, and just a great sense of gratitude of having an opportunity. David Payton and Adrian Williamson, and some of us became family with the Grandmother Prayed for Me cast. We did recordings together. We literally became family, and that was what kind of prompted my theatrical interest, and that
Right.
drove me. As that season ended, I came back home and started working with the dinner theater, which gave me a different perspective, because that was the Chitlin circuit we were kind of in.
The
We're
Chitlin.
out.
Did you say Chitlin Circuit?
Chitlin circuit, yes.
Okay, we're I'm in Toronto. What are you talking about?
Okay,
Chitlin
so the
Circuit here.
Chitlin circuit it's a term that is used. You weren't Broadway, and
Right.
it was what it was back in the day. What basically the only theater that black folks could have. They would do small venues, at least here in the South, and they would create their own. That whole mindset. It's really where Tyler Perry was, and of course he stepped it up, and
Right.
you had all the money and things of that sort. So that was our space. And so when we came out, they literally said, this was, so it really wasn't, it wasn't like Broadway, and it wasn't theater. You didn't have to have a degree, or
Right.
you could take your talent. And some of the folks, had degrees and did it, but I'm saying the
It
circuit
was a
itself
creative
was,
space.
it was a creative space. So I left from that. And then I came back, and then I started working at the barn, and then doing community theater and working with my school, North Carolina Agricultural Technical State University. Yeah, Aggie Pride. I had an opportunity to actually work on the on another type of professional,
Right.
a more traditional tract, and this is where you would get score, and you would get the sheet music, and you would have very rigorous choreography, and you would do musicals and all of. So I had the best of both worlds. I had an opportunity to kind of do those, and that's what I love about Encounter, because Encounter merges those two worlds together. This particular production is going to be directed by the incomparable Donna Bradby, who's no, I mean, I can't.
Hmm.
She's done lots of work around here and all around the United States. Just wonderful. And then our music director is none other but Andre Brinson, just known in his own right to pull music together. And then at the historical Barn Dinner Theater, you have a recipe for wonderful, just a wonderful experience.
So you see, you just Walter just went in. You're so passionate about what you're so passionate about what you do. Like Walter went in from talking about the music and getting involved, and we're at Encounter, and really and truly, um, speaking to you is having an encounter with joy. Speaking to you is
Oh,
in
thank
having an
you.
encounter with truth and with love. And I couldn't find another way to even though your album is called Encounter and the play that you're about to do is called Encounter, I couldn't think of a better word than to name the show than Encounter, because it's an encounter with human kindness. Because when I think about what you're doing with
Oh,
men,
thank you.
and taking that house and taking that chance and walking on and not beside, and curating that space and building a business so that they can have a place to go. I'm like telling you now, Serena is jumping in here. Did Walter ever perform in an opera? I used to work for the Washington National Opera. Just curious. So have you ever performed an opera, Walter?
I did Il Trovatore. It wasn't national. We did a local. I sang with the local opera, and this was while I was still a student,
Yeah.
and it was wonderful. I had an opportunity to do it. I've always wanted to do a bit of Porgy and Bess, and I love all types of music, but of course, gospel is my heart. But I try to infuse the technique
Hmm.
in that, because oftentimes as gospel artists, because we're so passionate, trying to find that very close balance with passion and technique. And it can be very challenging. But when you can do it, you create this wonderful, at least I feel like I was able to create a wonderful style that spoke volumes to just who I am. But I love opera. I'm thinking about writing something to that. I
I
actually have
almost feel like you want to break out in song right now. I feel like you have a song that you just want to break out into, Walter.
Well, I
I
tell you
sense the
what,
song.
I actually, this is, I guess you could say it's operatically inspired, but I have a term called songversation that I do, and it's something that I do when I teach. So, okay, I'll do it with you, Nicole.
Okay, just don't ask
So,
me to sing. Okay.
oh, well, you do have to sing.
Oh,
We'll do just a little
okay.
piece.
Do do
Okay,
do do. Okay.
okay, here we go. Nicole, this is my vocal warm up. Right now we have to sing. You cannot speak, but you have to sing. So when I ask you a question, you gonna answer me in song. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Ooh, I wish I could laugh and sing in conversation. Nicole, how was your day?
It was a great day. It was a great day. A great day. It was a great day.
That's it. Just a little bit. Conversation.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, this sounds so cool. Sounds like it's a great icebreaker. I mean, look at your range. I'm so excited. I wish I really had. You make me want to go back and do vocal lessons.
Come
Oh
on.
my God. Yes, Serena, song conversations. Serena says her friend is an opera singer and is doing a run for now for Porky and Bess. Listen, we gotta listen. Walter got happy right there. Walter got
Ooh.
happy. See? Listen, I'm
Ooh.
telling you, if I could put all these people online, everybody would be part of this song conversation. Walter, Serena said, let's put that on a shirt. Let's have a song conversation. You should create a shirt, and that should be a fundraiser for. Listen, I'm telling you, when you come to the Victory Speak show, we're all about victory, and we're always giving ideas. Something's been happening in the show. You create that show shirt. It's a fundraiser, and you know how they do those pop up singing things. You take some of the men that are in the house, and you do the vocal lessons, and you do some spontaneous singing, and you bring some joy to people's life, especially around Christmas, Valentine's. You pick the time of the year. Oh my song conversation. Oh, you
That-
need to TM that. You need to trademark that bad boy. Song
we're
conversations.
gonna
You
do
heard
it.
it here at the Tree
We're
Speak
gonna
Show. We're
we
gonna have a
got it.
song
We got it.
conversation
Next
too.
week we got it.
I love it, love it, love it. So I'm curious because you performed with so many people, done so many plays, you're writing music, you're arranging. Is there a particular, okay, give me your dream. Who's that dream singer that you want to perform with?
Oh wow. Well, I knew this person and he was an inspiration to me. He's no longer with us, Derek Coley. So I did he
Okay.
sang this song Sovereign when Sunday comes. I met him in person when I was a voice student at school, and when I was younger, a lot of folks said I used to sound like him, and I did pattern myself. As you get older, you kind of develop your own voice. But oh my goodness, there's so many wonderful Layla Hathaway. I love her.
Ooh, Layla Hathaway.
I love
Yes.
her. I love Kim Burrell's voice. There's so many, and I've had a chance to record with the Hawkins some years ago. I worked with John
Wow.
P. Key. I sang on one of his projects. These are things that I did when I was much younger. I sang on the James Cleveland Music and Arts Seminar. It's so old; they're on albums and cassette tapes.
Look at me now. Look at that. Serena's like, I love me some Layla Hathaway.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
people are loving the song conversations. It's a whole nother level. Listen, we need to go do on Clubhouse. For those of you who are not on the club, on the house, let's see. We're going to do a song conversation on Clubhouse. Could you imagine we did a
We're,
song
we're
conversation on
gonna do it
Clubhouse?
now. That's gonna be it. I'm starting a room right now.
Come on, come. You got love more on here. Listen, we're going to do a song conversation. We're just going to bring some joy in this season. So totally. And so Walter, your next thing is coming up. But before we go there, I want to say, who or what are you most proud of?
Ooh, wow. You know what? My children, my family.
I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah.
Look at you. Look at you. Your wife must be beaming right now. Your children, they're
Well,
beaming.
she's actually doing laundry, and one's doing homework, and one is at college, and one is working in at Disney, and it's everybody's in their own little space.
So you have three children.
Yes,
You actually have a child at college.
two. Well, actually, one in college and one graduated from college.
You look like you should be in college yourself. Like, please give me a
Ooh,
break.
you know
You look
what?
like
Now you
you
all
come on
right
now.
now?
Come on now, Walter. Come on now. So I want to play people. I listen. I just love Walter's voice. I love Walter's energy. Okay, hopefully I play this one right, and we're gonna end with encounter. We're gonna end with encounter. So we're gonna share one more song. I just love this is my song, and this is how you make. I think this is how you make people feel and know. Okay, so let's get this bad boy right here, and hopefully it does what I want it to do. Is it Sharon? Okay.
He's got you and your family in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. In his hands.
Yes. I just love that. Every time I need a little pep me up, I can, you just need that 30-second pep me up. You need to put that on like a Twitter on a TikTok or something and just put that out there You just want to bring people some joy and some love and just remind us. Just remind us. So, Walter, as we start wrapping up, and I want to make sure people know what you have coming up, what are you working on next?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm currently in a run with Langston Hughes' Black Nativity at the Barn Dinner Theater in Greensboro. There's no
Whoa,
virtual show for that. And I'm actually planning for the big virtual and live presentation of Encounter at the Barn Dinner Theater. That's going to be the what I'm doing the next month or so, just trying to get the word out, trying to have folks, especially who are not in this area, just get the virtual ticket. It's just so exciting. It's my personal life. So you know it's going to be a lot of passion in there. There's some comedic moments, and all of the songs have been written. I
right.
wrote the songs, and Andre Brinson helped me produce the songs, and we've got some wonderful background singers. It's just, and then we're going to have the lights, and we're going to have Donna Bradley to direct it. We're going to have a live audience, and we're going to do it at the Barn Dinner Theater, which was literally a barn.
That
Literally. They,
sounds so cool. Sounds so cool. And so now you have just released Encounter. We're gonna end the show tonight with Encounter. But tell us about this new single that you've just released, Walter.
oh wow. Okay, so I got to tell you, this song means so much to me. It came to me while my brother-in-law, Pastor Jacobs, and my lovely sister and Mala Joy. I know y'all are probably not watching, but uh, he was preaching, and I was supposed to be paying attention to him. I was sitting up on the front row, and I kid you not, it's almost like I was in a whole nother conversation with God. And literally the words, I'll just say the words because you're going to play it, but it says, an encounter with you. Lord, I need to hear you once again. A secret rendezvous. No one else but you and I alone. I desire to commune with you. I so appreciate the things you do. My heartfelt cry is an encounter with you. That's just the first verse. So when I tell you, woo wee, it just means so much to me. So I'm hoping that you all will have a chance to see it and listen when she shares it, or listen to it, and actually go to Amazon and go to iTunes and download it.
Oh, we're gonna play. You're gonna have to sing some of that a cappella before we play it. So, Walter, so now you're on the Victory Speak show. So one of the questions I always have to ask my people before they leave is, what does victory look like to you? What does victory in your life look like to you?
Mm, mm, mm. You know what? Victory to me is being at peace. Victory to me is
Mm,
being at peace where, ooh, being at peace right where you are. I'm going back to the show because that was my journey. When you can be at peace where you are and not be envious of anyone else,
mm-hmm,
and not be mad because you're not where you think you should be, but you
mm-hmm,
accept where you are in the place of where, right where God has you. The safest place is in his will. And when you're in his will, you've got victory. No matter no matter what it looks like, in spite of what it feels like. And so oftentimes, and I can say this from personal testimony, I know what it's like to compare yourself with someone else and feel like you're not where you're supposed to be. I know what it's like to feel like you're not good enough. But if you could just lay back and rest in the peace of God that surpasses all understanding, that's victory. That's why I can do all the stuff that I do. The word says we can do, for we know we can do all things through Jesus Christ, which strengthen us. So many people look, they say, Walter, you need to slow down, you need to slow down, you need to slow down. But when you're in the wheel and you're in that peace with God, you have a grace. You have a grace that might make what you do look easy. And that's not to mitigate anything that you've done, but it's to let everyone know that when you're where you're supposed to be, you have a grace that's for you for that season. So you can operate liberally. You can, I tell people, when you look at David's anointing kept him while Saul was trying to kill him, but it was the skill that allowed him to keep going, and he made it look easy. That's because even though he slipped and he fell, he was a man after God's own heart. Being in the peace of God means you don't have to prove. I tell folks this, and
mm,
trying to. Someone told me one day, they said, And I think this was when I was Black Nativity, and one of the younger performers was saying, they had some anxiety and they were going through, and I told them, I said, and I can't remember who told me this or did I say it, but anyway, we said, hey, you already made the audition.
Mm, that's good. That's good.
Ooh, the fact that you're talking to me, you made the audition. So what you worrying about? You got the call back already. So what you worried for? You're in the position that you're in. You made it already.
Mm-mm.
Enter into that place of rest and do your good work. Don't get me started.
Oh, you started. I think you so started. Listen, you so started, Walter. Hear what the people are saying. I'm going to tell you what Lovemore said. Can we have Walter back, please? Can we have a part two?
Yeah.
Yeah, can we have a part? Listen, they are Lovemore is like, Walter needs to be on Clubhouse. Look right here. Walter needs to be on Clubhouse. I'm like, he is on Clubhouse,
Yeah.
and
Tell me, yeah, come on the clubhouse. I'm gonna do the room.
we're gonna do the room. We're gonna set it up, and we're gonna make sure everybody is tuned in and ready, because Walter, you talk about peace, you talk about standing in the will and being in that will. This is so amazing. And what is your advice then, a man of your stature, your wisdom, your experience? What is your advice for the upcoming generation,
Oh wow. Um.
especially young men?
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
you're raising girls too, so no, you go ahead. You just speak.
You know, and even as I think about that, um, one of the main things that kind of help is enter into your place of rest in God. And the reason why I say that, and let me say this, even with wonderful things that you said, I'm still human. One of the things that
Hmm.
gave me freedom was to stop worrying about what I think other people think about me.
Mm-mm-mm.
And that doesn't mean that you're a loose cannon and you don't have your things. You don't want to be a decent human being. I'm not saying that, but sometimes we're so worried about failing, failing or faltering in the eyes of man, that we're not even focused on God loved us and accepted us exactly where we are and still saw a need and a use for us. So if he did, then I don't have to prove or point to you the way that you think I should. So if I can accept me and I can be in that place of rest, there's another line in my play. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. The only person you can perfectly be is you. So be you. So
Ooh.
be you to the best of your ability, however it is. I'm telling you, the play really goes into it. Some years ago, I started losing my hair, and I mean, all of that stuff that happened, because this is about my midlife crisis in my 40s. And men don't usually talk about it, but in
Think
Encounter,
about it right now.
I talk about it. I talk about it. So went for the young folk. But you know what? It seems like the young people have kind of, especially the millennials and down, it seems like they kind of gotten some of that, because
Yeah,
unlike
yeah.
some of us, they're going to take their vacations. They're not going to sit there and work 10 or 20 years at a place that they don't like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
there's something that we can learn from each other, and they're not even often, if we look at enrollment in college and all of that, some of them are saying, I don't want that debt and that school loan, let me learn a trade, or let me. A lot of them are entrepreneurs as well, and so it seems like they met some of that message that they've gotten even with church. The way that we grew up and the way that we had, a lot of them, Corona shook a lot of stuff up, and they're like,
Yes.
oh, let me
Yes.
let me
Let
see
me
some things, because I
rewind.
didn't I didn't have the elder, or I didn't have the pastor that was there, so I had to learn how to tap in for myself.
Come, come. You see, you're seeing so much now. With part two, we might have to just go a few more minutes more, people. A few more minutes more, because you said some things there, Walter. Like you were losing your hair in the middle of a midlife crisis. Like, how did you come out of that?
I'm telling you, I don't want to tell too much, because I want to encourage everybody that's watching, and tell everybody that that could benefit from when you're having a struggle. And the struggle is not with everybody else.
Right.
The struggle was with me. And when I tell you,
Mm.
that mind It's a powerful thing. And so when you, like I said, that whole piece is about my journey from brokenness to wholeness.
So what we need to do is watch the play.
Yep, the virtual play. You can put that link down there. They can get their tickets, and they'll get a Zoom link for the.
Okay, so the Eventbrite link is
Yep,
what I'm going to put in. I'm going to put that in the chat and tell them the name of the play again, Walter.
it's Encounter. The name of the play is Encounter. The virtual date and the live date is February the 12th, 2022.
February the 12th. But we may have to have some encounter moments, whether we do it. We could probably do some stuff on the club. We can probably do some stuff on Instagram. We're going to have to do some impromptu pieces because, as you speak about this, there's so many people right now struggling and needing to come out of this. As Serena says, from brokenness to wholeness, that's a whole nother shirt. Walter, you're creating your whole merchandise line right here to fundraise for this men's place that you have.
Yes. Look, Serena, you might need to help me out.
Now, Serena's going to help you out with that book that you're supposed to write because Serena is self-published. Serena
Ooh.
Serena teaches people how to publish their books. She's recovered from Lyme disease. She advocates for cancer. Listen, she is a powerhouse and she's raising a son. Okay. Okay, Walter. She's raising a son and he's so amazing. And you get the live tickets, Jessica. I just put the link in the chat. Go to the encounter.
Hey,
It's
Miss
an Eventbrite.
Jessica. Yeah, that's my manager. She's wonderful.
Miss Jessica, I got him. It's in the chat. It's in the chat. And if you don't see it in the chat, Miss Jennifer, you can drop it in the chat too. That's okay. That's all right. So Walter, looking back on your life, say you were like, let's think here. Let's pick a number. How old is your oldest child?
23.
23. So 23 years from now, looking back on your life, what do you think will matter to you most?
Oh wow. Um how I treated my family and friends. What the
Ooh,
how I treated them.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Not perfect, but I try my best to tell my family that I love them, and show it. That's why I don't mind working 5 jobs. That's why I don't mind doing what I need to do, and still trying to find that balance of texting or calling and checking in on them, and not just my family, but my friends as well. Um, I just I want to be remembered as a guy who loved people. I don't have to have a whole bunch of money and all of that. Um, I just don't.
I want to be remembered as a guy who loved people. And so before we play encounter, because this has been an encounter that has, I think, been so good for so many of us. And barring a call for reservations, those of you, it's in North Carolina, right?
Hmm.
And then we can always go online as well. And we can
Yeah.
get to see the virtual show. This is a show we can watch virtually too, right, Walter?
Yes. Oh, well,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
yeah, Encounter is a show that you can watch
Watch
virtually. Yeah.
virtually. Okay, so we're gonna have to encounter the whole stuff. You're gonna have a whole new you have a whole new marketing team here. Serena Lovemore, they're joining your marketing team. I'm gonna be pushing this out when you
Thank
you you
y'all.
follow us.
Thank y'all.
You gotta follow Lovemore, you gotta follow Serena. I'm gonna hook you up. You got your Canadian fan club here. We may not be able to see you in person and hug you in person, but we are going to love on you, Walter. And so,
Oh,
any last words, anything last you want to say before we play that beautiful song Encounter?
I just want to first thank you again, Nicole. And I just want to thank every last one who took time out of their schedule to even come to this video. Anytime anybody gives you a little bit of their time, it's an honor because we're in the digital world. There's so many Netflix, Hulu, Roku, you know, and it goes on and on. Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram. But you guys chose to watch this video, and I'm honored and I'm thankful.
I'm telling you, Walter, I am honored that you are here tonight with me, with us on the Victory Speak show, and to have that encounter. And so we're going to end with this encounter tonight. I hope everyone here that you make sure and have an encounter in your life with someone you love, someone you've met along the way. Make sure that encounter with them is going to change their life for the better. Go to Spotify, go to YouTube, go to Amazon Music, go to Apple Music, buy this beautiful single by Walter. You're getting a little taste of it now because I want you to go and invest in Walter. We have to invest in each other. He took his time, he took his love, he took his energy, and let your victory speak. You can watch the show again, you can share it again on Victory Speak 7 on YouTube or Victory Speak 77 on Facebook. And remember to let your victory speak. And Albert Pike says, what we do for ourselves dies with us, and what we do for others lives on forever. I'm going to just raise the volume a little bit, let you take in some of this.
No pop-ups, drop-offs, I promise, Lord. Remove distraction from my mind. Can't multitask, no, not this time. My heart's felt cry is an encounter with you. My heart felt cry is an encounter with you. Yeah, encounter with you. Now I'm standing in your presence, Lord. So glad I'm close to you. In your presence there's fullness of joy. You said ask and I would find.
We needed some of
So
this a
glad I
cappella,
found
Walter.
my peace of mind. My heart felt cry is an encounter with you.
Are you singing, Walter? Because I can sing. I'm just singing. I'm just singing to myself here.
I'm listening.
Sing, sing.
Near a blessed Lord, my heartfelt cry is an encounter with you.